Hello again, PCQI, and today's segment we're going to be discussing BRCGS review for agents and brokers. So let's do this. Here we go again. Welcome back, PCQI, to our All About Compliance channel. We're going to be discussing our BRCGS review for agents and brokers. So let me take a look at my notes on these requirements. So on this part of the BRCGS review, these are programs, policies, procedures, or forms for records and lessons or for training materials that we're going to be needing to develop if we are going to comply with the BRCGS global standards for agents and brokers. So I'm just going to go over those. These are not going to be very detailed. And by the way, if you need more information on the BRCGS, please go to their website as well as go to the link below that we're going to be including some of their checklists that they published in their website. So let's begin. So first topic on this one is senior management commitment and continual improvement section of the BRCGS. So some of the things that we look for these when we're putting them together. Number one is the senior management commitment and continual improvement policy statement that makes sure that we collect it and that you have it available. And obviously, if you don't have these things, we can assist you in putting these together for you as part of our setup services, or you can use our interlinkiq.com portal where these dashboards are readily made available for your intended process. So next part of this is basically your senior management commitment and continual improvement program itself. Now, within the program, you're going to see the purpose and the scope, and your policy that you need to implement to comply with the standard, quote, the program, right? As well as your procedures and lessons for training. So the next part of this is our product safety and quality culture program that needs to be developed and implemented. And then part of that is the product safety and quality culture employee feedback procedures. These are your protocols that needs to be implemented as well. Product safety and quality culture employee feedback form. So this is a part of the form for records that needs to be collected from your employees. Next part of that is our product safety and quality culture activities performance measurement procedure that needs to be developed. Now, product safety and quality culture activities performance measurement and monitoring report is one of the other reports that you're going to need. Product safety and quality culture activities action plan, as well as your product safety and quality culture activities action plan review form. Then next part of this is the product safety and quality objectives policy. You're going to need to have a product safety and quality objective monitoring report and your management review. Okay. So then the other part of this is customer complaint programs, and that's concern any incidents and corrective action or out of specs results, supplier performances, as well as assessment of hazard risk assessment forms for your HACCP and other resources that's going to come play with that. So next part is our product safety issue resolution program, senior management resources, and then you're going to need to review your legislation requirements program for the BRCGS standards and audit of nonconformance, and as well as certification and BRCGS audit in itself. And then you're also going to cover the BRCGS logo program. If you are utilizing their logo, we need to make sure you are staying within that standard. So the next part of this are organizational structure, responsibilities, and management authority section that we need to abide by. in accordance with the BRCGS standards. So on this part, we're going to take a look at your organizational chart and as well as the management responsibility program under that requirement. Next part is our hazard and risk assessment section, where we look at your product safety plan or your HACCP plan. We take a look at the qualified personnel for your HACCP team or your food safety team. And then we're going to take a look at your hazard and risk analysis study, your hazard analysis implementation procedure, hazard analysis, the scope, and the process flow diagram. Part of this requirement, we're also going to look at your service providers process controls program, contracts and trading agreements, service provider process control plan, monitoring and verification, corrective action plans, hazard risk analysis review, and management of change program. Next section, PCQI, it's going to be product safety and quality management system. We're going to take a look at your product safety manual and quality manual. You're going to need to have your product safety and quality manual implementation. So you're going to need to show that, and as well as the content creation of your product safety and quality manual, obviously. Now, next part is the documentation control. So you're going to need to have your document control system program put in place, control of your documents procedures, your change procedures, and document storage and archiving procedure. And you're also going to need your controlled document register and your history form. Then next to that is record completion. So obviously it's your records program, internal and external record retention procedure. And next, our requirement is our customer focused and communication requirements program, and our procedures, as well as approval process procedure for your customer requirements. Next requirement for your internal audit, obviously, is the internal audit program, qualification of your internal auditors, if you're using in-house or are you going to be using third-party providers. And on top of that is your internal audit report. Now, on the internal audit as well, you're going to need to have your CAPA program attached to that, as well as your preventive controls, moving forward on your corrective actions. Now, next topic, specification for products. So these are your specification programs, product specification register, specification approval procedure, customer requirements and specification communication procedures, and then specification change and review procedures. Now, on your specification, it's just not your supplier or your vendors that are providing you specifications. It's also you providing one for your finished product as well. Because once you have a product that you're putting in commerce, it's going to require its own specifications. Next, requirements is traceability. So you need to have a traceability program. You need to perform a traceability exercise. Now, depends on the standard. Sometimes you have to do this twice a year. One for when you are within operating hours or within non-operating hours. And then also for the traceability procedure of relabeling and returns. If you need to have those implemented, you're going to need those programs. And you're also going to have your entire traceability procedure for your supplier program. Next part is complaint handling programs, complaint communication procedures, investigation procedures, and your trend analysis. And then we've mentioned CAPA as well, which is our corrective and preventive actions procedures, investigations, root cause analysis, preventive measures, and retraining or training the applicable department or effective personnel program, okay? Control of non-conforming product is another standard under this for BRCGS Global Standard for Agents and Brokers. So the control of non-conforming product program, non-conforming product for subcontractor reporting procedures, stock management procedure, product disposal and destruction procedure. And then you're going to need a management of incident, product withdrawal, and product recall program. And you're going to have specifically written out for your product withdrawal, and recall plan, all of the steps that you need to do when withdrawing a product from commerce. Mock recall exercises that needs to be written out and performed. Product incident notification form that needs to be developed. You're going to need a recall team register for this, and obviously there applicable training required to be in the team. Recall key contacts register for emergency services, suppliers, customers, certification body, and regulatory authority. You're going to need that put together. You need a recall communication plan. You need an external advice and support procedure. These are your specialists like laboratory, regulatory authority, and legal expertise, as well as your specialized consultant. So you are covered during these type of emergencies. Logistics, traceability, recovery, and disposal plan. You need to put that one together. You need to have a recall root cause analysis plan or procedure. Key activities, timings, recording protocol, and certification body notification procedure under the BRCGS guidelines. Next section, PCQI, is our supplier and subcontracted service management section of the requirement. So we need approval and performance monitoring of manufacturers, packers of traded products. This is going to be part of the supplier approval program, supplier risk assessment procedure, manufacturers of product approval procedures, your approved supplier database register, management of purchased product from other agents and brokers procedure, purchased products from other agents and brokers checklist, approved supplier and records management, contracts and agreement, and then your approved supplier questionnaire, approved supplier handling exception procedure. And also PCQI, please don't forget when you're putting together your supplier approval program that you put a status on your approved supplier, emergency use only, non-approved, and a do not use register. So if you are maintaining those, please have those updated prior to the audit in the event that the auditor will ask for some protocol or a list of your process when dealing with suppliers for emergency use or a do not use category. Okay. Next requirements, management of services provider. Now this is if and when applicable. Other service provider may include, for example, maintenance that's coming out to maintain your facility. What does that look like and how you control that, that process and whatnot. Or other service provider like courier, transportation, and other sorts of other service provider that you have to have in maintaining your agents and brokers standards with BRCGS. So with that being said, we're going to need service provider management program, your approval procedure, your contracts and agreements, review process procedures for your service providers, subcontracting procedures, and then exception procedures if you have those listed. Next part of the requirements is product security and food defense requirements, where you're going to need these programs developed. You're going to need a risk assessment and also a product security verification. You need to be mindful that you have to perform a food defense challenge, and we'll put that together for you and assist you in getting those accomplished. Okay. Product inspection and laboratory testing. Now, if this is part of your protocol in your process where you are basically the main consolidator for these products from multiple supplier, and you are providing your customer with this, and you are the single source for them of all of these different suppliers or materials, and you're going to need to have some product inspection and laboratory testing programs that needs to be in place. And some of these are product sampling or product verification program, your verification procedure for your product, product claim procedure, accredited laboratory procedure, On the lab, please use laboratory that are ISO 17025 certified, okay, for that. And then product testing results. So what are your parameters on accepting these? Now, we prepared these type of protocols, sampling procedures, sending it to the lab, monitoring the go or no go or pass or fail, parameters, meeting your COA or your specification from your customers and your suppliers and vendors, okay? Product legality and labeling. So the product legality and labeling program includes the label review, that it went through a regulatory review, especially if your supplier had provided all of these basically finished product label for you, and then you have some claims on those products that needs to be clarified, to prevent delay. If you're importing this product, obviously that's going to be some issues sometimes with the FDA or in the border part of it when it comes to product claim. So on the finished product label, we do provide that services should you need it, where we sign off on the 21 CFR 101 review, and also all of our recommendations for the changes and are documented, that you could show any agency if you do get scrutinized for those. So I just wanted to let you know those are also available. Then you have our records management for these product labels, okay? And then you have your product design and development programs that you need to comply with. And has in this product design and development, it has HACCP and your hazard and risk management plan. You got your product design and development for shelf life verification study, product design labeling requirements procedure, product design development validation study, example nutritional claims, reduced sugar, etc., etc. Okay, so that's our part of our checklist that we need to perform and produce for you. And then product release. So this you have some positive product release program that you need to have control with your co-manufacturing or co-packer, especially if you have full control in the food safety management system. So depending on the contract agreement. Product authenticity is next, and fraud prevention program is part of that. Access to information program, trade association, government sources, private resource center, or all about compliance website. If you are utilizing our our YouTube channel to get some of these informational program, you can also add that to your programs. Vulnerability assessment. Obviously, for vulnerability assessment, we do supplier as well as the ingredients or raw materials and packaging materials. Vulnerability assessment. Okay. And then your fraud mitigation plan needs to be put together as well. Now, management of surplus products. These are, if applicable, management of the surplus products program, surplus customer branded products disposal procedure that you need to have in place. And then you have your surplus customer branded products prior consent procedure and your surplus product donation procedure. If you are donating your product, either they're going to expire or they are expired, if you are going to donate them, what would that look like for as part of your disposal program? Next part of the requirement is our personnel. So obviously training and competency requirement, it's going to be included on there. So personal training requirement program, training records, and your competency monitoring. Okay. So with that being said, I believe that's the last requirement for the BRCGS review for agents and brokers. Well, let's end that segment there, PCQI, and thank you again for your viewership. If you see value in our content, please subscribe and also share our video to our fellow PCQI out in the field. Once again, thank you and have a great day. Bye for now. Contact us. And don't forget to share, like, and subscribe. Thanks again, PCQIs. Have a good one.